With more changes coming to WWE under Triple H, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for August 13th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. With it announced on Dynamite that Kris Statlander was injured, she posted a workout video along with an update, writing, "We don't skip leg days even with a blown out knee." Instagram removed the original, so let's see if I can remember what I wrote. Going slightly off program here, but the main focus now is maintaining as much strength as possible to lessen post-op atrophy. If you want to yell at me for pushing myself while injured, remember it's free to mind your business. I'm taking extra precautions to make sure I'm stable through all movements, using lighter weights with every rep controlled, making sure I don't reach any uncomfortable ROM or recreate any pain. Most will take a time like this to lose sight of their goal, and I'm sure I'll reflect on what could have been had I not been injured, but I know my moment in my wrestling career will come, not yet but soon. I'll come back stronger than before, just like last time. It's not a setback unless you allow it to be. With Hit Row making their shocking return to SmackDown last night after being released from the company last year, Brian Alvarez noted on Wrestling Observer Live that many in WWE took issue with the leader of the group, Top Dollar. He was a heat magnet, and the way it was described to me was, Top Dollar knows the right people to not be a heat magnet with, and Triple H was one of them. People talked to Triple H about Top Dollar. Triple H was like, cool to me, so he pushed him, and he did all the stuff that they did. There were a lot of people that really didn't like Top Dollar, so he ended up being released, and now he's coming back. Staying on the topic of factions, leader of the Judgement Day, Finn Balor, was asked about adding new members to his group, as he made it clear with WWE El Brunch, not in every case is it more important to have more soldiers. I prefer quality over quantity. We definitely have our eyes open for more quality, and when that quality presents itself, we'll definitely welcome more members to the Judgement Day. With her set to defend the NXT Women's title against Zoey Stark at NXT Heatwave, Mandy Rose made a video taking a dig at her challenger.
Anyway, I'm here to talk about NXT Heatwave this Tuesday with my big title defense against Zoey Stark. I want to clear the air with some questions and concerns I've been seeing a lot across the internet and whatnot. One of them being, am I afraid of Zoey Stark? Okay, I want to remind you all of who the hell I am. I'm Mandy Rose, and after everything I've been through the past few years, the ups, the downs, I think we can all say that I came out on top. And I think what you're all forgetting is who I've beaten. I've beaten Raquel Rodriguez, Alba Fire, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez. I mean, the list goes on and on. Do I even need to keep going? But I will say this other question people have been asking, is Zoey Stark my toughest challenge thus far? I will say Zoey is an incredible athlete. I will not discredit her at all. She may very well be my toughest challenge. However, don't think that I haven't been doing my homework. I've been studying. I mean, I am a champ. There's a reason why I am the champion for almost 300 days now. I know what I'm doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna beat Zoey Stark this Tuesday, put her back on the shelf, and make her irrelevant just like I do to all the other women. These women, they don't realize that the only reason why they're relevant is because I bring out the best in them. When I'm in the ring with them, I bring out the best in them. This is what I've done to Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez. I mean, all of them. I make them better. Because, let's be honest, you all can't deny my star power. My presence, the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I train, my drive, my dedication, my discipline. I have it all. So Zoey Stark, this Tuesday at NXT Heatwave, I hope you're ready because I'm bringing the heat, honey.
Talking to Inside the Ropes about Vince McMahon's retirement from WWE, AJ Styles revealed that he never imagined not working under him in the company. Well, you know, it's only been, what, 2-3 weeks? So I haven't really had that opportunity to read, really, you know, sit down with him and chat with Triple H. Because at this point, you're just so busy in that position, and it's hard to find the time. It's different for sure because it's not Vince. I had a great relationship with Vince. It's not bad or anything. I'm very optimistic about how everything is going. It's just different. I never thought there'd be a time where I wouldn't work for Vince. And so I'm just getting used to it, just like everything else. Again, it's not a bad thing. It's probably a great thing. It's just different. AJ was also recently asked about making the move to AEW to make a run for the trio's titles. The Bucks would respond, telling Styles they miss him too. With him last seen taking on Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber, Goldberg spoke about his position in the wrestling landscape on Talk Is Jericho, noting that, "My role quite obviously has changed exponentially. At this point, I look at it like I'm a cast member, and however I need to be used, I'm pretty much okay with it because it's the debt that I owe to the business. If I can help in any way, shape, or form, then that's what I'm here for. Vince McMahon has treated me very well throughout the years. It's a relationship that changed 180 degrees from my first departure to my existing relationship with him now. I owe that man and that company a lot, because it gave me the opportunity to come back and put something on tape for my son." So, the way that they use the Goldberg character, you know, granted, yeah, I don't want to be choked out in the middle of the ring by Roman Reigns, but it lends itself to the storyline to ultimately tell the big picture. And in the big picture, I'm not the #1 main character in it anymore. But if I can be used in the proper way to elevate or to destroy somebody, then I'm all for it. On his Extreme Life podcast, Matt Hardy talked about the potential for AEW stars to sign with WWE, given Triple H is now head of creative for the promotion, saying, "This deal with Triple H taking over WWE is a game changer. On top of that, it opens up the door for so many people to go back. There's so many more people who have a better relationship with Triple H than they did Vince. Triple H has already been so much more accessible for the people that I've talked to there with the current experience. So it's great. It's a very good thing. I also think it's going to make the competition of the industry healthier." Speaking of Triple H, fans can clearly see he is at work on making the show his vision. As Doudrop revealed, the game did propose to change her name after taking over creative, telling Inside the Ropes, "I'll give 100% full transparency about it. We did have a conversation about it. Because here's the thing. Before it was Vince's vision and now it's Triple H's vision. So it's like, what's your vision? And where do you see this going? Are you open to ideas? For me, I don't mind either way. I would just like to make more deliberate steps going forward with my character. I feel like for the past little while, things have been weird. When I was first given Doudrop, I obviously initially had no idea what to do. It took me such a long time to get comfortable with who Doudrop was. I was like, I get this, I'm bubbly, and I'm happy, and I'm essentially JoJo Siwa. After a minute, I bought into it, and I got comfortable with it, and then they turned me heel. I was like, I don't know how to do that. There's so much trial and error that went on as I was going, so it took a minute to figure out who heel Doudrop is. Now that Triple H has come on board, I kinda just wanted to get more of a feel of who she is supposed to be, and what the options would be as far as different facets of the character, or maybe a new character, maybe even an old character. So we'll see. As I said, it's an exciting time. When asked if Triple H was receptive of her idea, she said yes. He was receptive to all ideas. I'm very aware that there is probably like lots of other people that are looking for changes and such, but I'm willing to be patient and make sure that we're being deliberate and making sure we know the direction of the character and where we want to go. While the likes of Karrion Kross, Hit Row, and more have made triumphant returns to WWE, there is not much hope it seems for the former NXT North American Champion Velveteen Dream, who was released following allegations of sexual misconduct. On his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T, when asked if he thought the Dream would be brought back, he said, "No, I do not. Brad always says that you could put yourself where something could happen and it could be bad. Sometimes you can never find your way back from it, and I think Velveteen Dream is going to be one of those guys that would have had a hell of a career if that's the end of that story." On the MMA Hour, former head writer for WWE, Brian Gewirtz, noted how Triple H has a distinct advantage over Vince McMahon in this role. If you're the head of creative and you don't know what they've done in NXT, it's just going to be hard to write to their strengths. It's going to be hard unless you have the patience to go watch it or explain it. Otherwise, if you say, well, that was NXT, now we're going to start from scratch, that has been met with varying levels of success, or in some cases, lack of success. So the fact that Triple H is so familiar with a lot of NXT talent and knows their strengths and knows how to present them, that's a real boon to Raw and SmackDown when you see these talents debut. And I'm kind of excited to see how it goes forward, because there's definitely something different going on. Despite Raw and SmackDown and even NXT seemingly benefiting from Triple H overseeing creative, it seems those over on NXT UK aren't sharing the same sentiment. As Dave Meltzer said in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there is a lot of uneasiness with the NXT UK crew. The next 2 sets of television tapings were cancelled on August 9th. The reason given was that BT Sports Studios, where they tape, had to be used for football soccer coverage. But as you can imagine with the talent of the reaction is, given you could tape somewhere else and shutting down tapings is never a good sign, nobody really has been told anything. Talking about Hit Row's return on Busted Open Radio, Top Dollar explained how the group was promised a clean slate for their comeback. Even when Hunter was not in NXT, even when we went up to SmackDown, even when we got released, I never stopped talking to Hunter. We had talked a lot already about hopefully working together in the future. I sent him clips of the stuff we were doing. I sent him clips from GCW, ACW, and Trinidad, and clips of me and Ashanti working together as a tag team, letting him know the band was still together. Swerve being added to Hit Row was a Hunter call. Hunter added Swerve to Hit Row because he had already saw what we had been doing for a year and was like, this is a good opportunity to debut a faction instead of a tag team with a manager. It was cool, it was a good idea, it clearly worked. But Hunter saw it when it was just the 3 of us. He knew what we were capable of from jump. When he gets the reins and is like, I want to bring my guys back, we were one of his top priorities to get back because he knew what we could bring to the table. About a week and a half ago, he hit me up and was like, how are the rest of the guys? We're good. None of us wasted time this whole time. I was on tour. I did shows in New Orleans and LA for music, wrestled at GCW, MCW, ACW. B-Fab lives in Colombia, so she was doing her thing down there, modeling. Shanti was doing acting stuff in Atlanta and LA, model stuff. We never stopped training and being ready. He was like, how fast can I act and get you guys here? This was on Wednesday last week. If you really want us, we can be there tomorrow. We ended up having a Zoom call with him, 3 of us, and planned out what would happen the next couple of days. This week, we got physicals and contracts. I don't know how the story broke that I was going to be there, but I knew it wasn't somebody with all the information because they didn't know B-Fab was going to be there, which we played into. When me and Ashanti came through the curtain, you thought it was just going to be us, and we had B-Fab come through last. Yeah, she's here too. She's an important part of the group. It was a really cool process. Because Hunter, there are a million people Hunter could run back. The list is hundreds of people long that are talented performers that were released in the last 5 years that are still young and able to do these things. A million people he could bring back, but he called us. That made me feel not just special, but grateful. That's why I will sing his praises to the high heavens. Everyone in the world thinks they know who I am. Everyone in the world thinks I'm hard to work with. People who never worked with me had one conversation with me and felt they could talk down to me like I'm not a 30-year-old man. I told them about themselves, and then they get in their buddy's ear like I'm hard to work with. In actuality, I'm not hard to work with, I'm hard to fool. You can't tell me something you're not going to stand on. That's how I was raised. In the conversation I had with Triple H, he was like, I don't know what happened before, and to be honest, I don't care. It's a new place. I want you to understand that you have a clean slate. There are no hard feelings on this side. I hope you can come with no hard feelings on your side. It was a breath of fresh air. I was down when we got released. Hit Row was hotter than anything in wrestling. When we got released, I feel we did something great, and it turned into ashes in my hand. It made me stop watching wrestling for the first time in my life. I went 8 months without watching wrestling. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.